everyone and welcome to my channel. My name's Stephanie and this is my cross stitch channel, Steph.Xstitch. So I stitch a range of projects, full coverage, non-full coverage and some stamps as well. So if you're new to the channel then welcome, and hopefully you will see something you like in my projects, and if you're a returning viewer then thank you for coming back to spend some time with me. So this is my weekly WIP update, and this is Flosstube 16. So in the last week since I filmed my last one, I've worked on 9 projects. 3 of those are new starts, so I'll do the new starts first and then just share the regular progress. So most of these are full coverage, just because I've got quite a lot now, and if you saw my Flosstube extra that I posted a few days ago then you will see that I have a lot more that I want to purchase in the future. So my first new start is just a small one. So this one is Butterfly, and it's the Make and Create range from The Works. So if you're in the UK then you'll know what The Works is. It's like a craft store they sell books and things like that. So this is just a little kit. It's a 14 count kit. I only worked on this I think one day. I took it to work with me, and I worked on that before I started, and then a little bit when I got home. So yeah, so that's what I've done on that one. So that is a as I said, 14 count. So that's a 2-strand full cross one on that, and then obviously all the kit supplies. So that's that. My next one I'm classing as a bit of a secret stitch. It's basically a design that I've made. I don't make designs like on a proper pixelated platform. I have gridded paper, you know, the paper with little squares in it, and I just kind of doodle now and again. And last year I made like a sort of a Halloween themed one. So obviously now I'm trying to stitch that one into a project. So I'll pop up a little sneak peek picture, just because I don't know how it's going to turn out, so I'd rather wait to show the whole thing. So you can see a little sneak peek of what I'd originally stitched, and then I will hopefully have that maybe next time or the week after, and then anyway I can, you know, show that then. So that one's being stitched on a 14 count black Ada, because I seem to have a big bit of black Ada, so I thought it would be nice to actually use it. And then my other new start is a full coverage one. So I ordered some 25 count even weave from AliExpress a little while ago, and that arrived, and unfortunately they sent me 28 count, not 25, and it was going to cost money to ship it back to the shop where I bought it, so I decided just to try and keep it and try and make it work. So I have started the project that I wanted the 25 count for. I've started the project on this 28 count as a 1/1 tent. So the project is called Virtue's Kindness, and it's by Puck's Closet on Etsy. So this is quite a big chart. It's a 500 by 500 stitch one, which was why obviously I wanted to try smaller fabric. So I would have obviously preferred gridded and everything, but I got this at a good price. So, and as I said, it was supposed to be 25, not 28, but we will see how it goes so far. So obviously you can see my little tester. So obviously I use CXC for my stitching, which obviously, as a lot of people might know, that it's a little bit thicker than DMC. So I know a lot of people stitch 2/110 on 28 count even weave, but I found that it felt too thick, so I've give it a try with 1/110, and that's my progress so far. So I think, considering I'm not really used to a small count, I do think that it's coming out quite good. And obviously, so this one I managed to get 937 stitches out of 250,000. So obviously it's going to be a big project. So I'm at 0.37%, and I'm not sure how much fabric this will need, but it's a humongous piece. And with me stitching in hand, obviously I need to try and figure out a better way of trying to wrangle it. So yeah, so that is my stitching on that one. So hopefully I'm aiming to do a page worth and then see what I think in terms of continuing it on the 28, but I don't really want to waste this fabric, so I will probably try and just keep going. So I'm hoping by the time I get to like the page, I'm kind of more used to it. Sorry about that, I just had like a big coughing fit for some reason. Anyway, so yeah, so as I was saying, hopefully that will, I will get used to that by the time I've done more stitching on it. So something that I've started, I would probably say from this week, is I have a few larger stamped kits on the go, and last week I shared my progress on the sunflower anime girl, and I was quite surprised that just stitching on that whenever I felt like it during 1 week, I actually did feel like I made a lot of progress on that. So what I've done is I've made a spinner wheel from just the stamped ones, and then every Sunday, Saturday or Sunday, but probably every Sunday, which is what I did last week, so every Sunday I'll give it a spin, and just basically that's my project that I work on. So if I don't want to get all of the big lot of thread out, or if I'm not in the mood to do counted, then obviously I will do my stamped one. So this one is called Leisure Time. So it's an 11 count one by MNLS Precision, and it's a 48 by 38 centimeter one. And I think I should have a picture of roughly where I had it before. So I started this one in the top left hand corner, and I was stitching it on the recommended 3 strands full cross, but because I've been stitching the sunflower one on a 6 strand tent, I decided that I'm just going to change it over. So as you can see on the image, there wasn't a lot of stitching that I'd done on it, so I will show the back just because that kind of gives you a better idea of where the stitching's gone. So as you can see, I've stitched kind of all the way along here and like all in this section, and then I will turn it around to show. Obviously I'm not as big of a fan on this image so far as I was on the sunflower one, because obviously as you can see all of that yellow is just kind of one colour mostly. So I'll just fold that over because I've done nothing on that side. So as you can see, so there is obviously a little bit of you can notice it a little bit there just where I've swapped over, but when you pull it back it's not really as noticeable. So yeah, so I basically stitched all of the tree. So I've kind of tried to get it up to a line as a finishing point, and then yeah, and then I just didn't fill all this in. So yeah, so I mean, compared to where I was, that's definitely in a week got a lot of progress. I've just basically picked it up when when I've been watching something like Flosstube, or where I've you know, just wanted to stitch and I didn't want to get all of my stuff out. So yeah, so I think that's actually quite a good plan for the time being. Yeah, so because I'm thinking of doing with the stamped is just if they're not already on a 6-strand tent, is just basically for the big ones like this, just to change them to a 6-strand tent, just because then it makes you know, it makes it a lot easier and a lot faster. So yeah, so I have already done my spinner wheel for next week, just because I kind of have enough of, I've had enough of this one now. I want to pop it away because I've done a lot of like, what if I just check what that yellow one is? So that is all 3747. So it's not a white, it's kind of like a very, very pale grey, or a very, very blue grey. But yeah, I'm a bit bored of that one now. So so my next one for next week is going to be Piano Girl. So I'm going to see how much progress I get onto that one. Right, so my next one is my birthday start for this year, and this one is Mini Summer Nights by Hannah Lynn, and this is a Heaven and Earth Designs one. So this one I'm stitching on a 15 count Ada, just because I had a really big piece that I'd found in a charity shop, and it was more than, you know, big enough to fill the whole design. So I'm doing this a little bit different, and I'm doing this on a 4-strand tent, and I will pop up a image of where I was last time, and that's where I am now. So I haven't really gone, I don't think I've gone much further on this bit here. I was mostly just trying to fill a bit more in on here. Let me see. Yeah, so I've filled quite a lot of this section in. I think this is new, and then some of the yellow. I think I may have done a little bit of this blue actually. I think I have come along a bit more than I was. So yeah, so that's what I've got done on that so far. So at the moment now, this is now 3,065 stitches out of 79,300, and it's currently at 3.87%. So as I said, that's a 4-strand tent, but I don't think that you can actually tell. There's a good amount of coverage on that. So yeah, so that's that one. This doesn't have needles. This doesn't have a lot of progress from the last time I showed it. I'm not too sure, I didn't work out how many stitches I've actually put into it, but I know that I've added a little bit of the pink colour, so I thought I'd add it onto this. So this one is Colourful Landscape. This is the small version, and it is by Petite Croix Fantastiques. And I'm doing this one on a 16 count Ada, 2/1 full cross. So pop up a picture of where it would have been last time I showed it. That's where I am now. So as I said, I don't think I've done anything here. I think some of this might have been worked in, but I know that I definitely did like this little bit, a little bit more in this section. So that's where I am on that now, and that's obviously top hand, yeah, top hand left corner. So this at the moment now is 2,100 stitches, and it is out of 76,176 stitches, and it's currently 2.76%. And with this shop, Petite Croix Fantastiques, I do have a discount code for that, and that will be linked into the description in case you're interested in checking them out. And then my next one was a birthday gift, and I'm trying this one on I'm calling it a 25 count Ada because it's from Amazon and that's what the information packaging says, that it's Ada. So yeah, so this is on a 25 count and I'm doing this at the moment 2/110. So this is Mini Delicious Delights and it's by Randall Spangler and it's a Heaven and Earth Designs one. So I'll pop up a picture of where I was last time, and I don't think I've got a lot more stitches on it. I just think I might have come down a little bit and worked in some of the threads. So at the moment this one has 767 stitches out of 84,825 and it's at 0.90%. So there are a few stitches that I have been trying 1/1 full cross. So as I've mentioned in a previous video, I'm trying to figure out which one I prefer, just because I've not used 25 count before. So at the moment it's 2/110. It probably will just stay, but I am feeling already that it's quite thick at the back, so we will have to see how that goes. So that's my progress on that one, and then I've just got to turn over my notes. Right, so I have 2 more projects now to share, and the first one is, or the next one should I say, the next one is my Stitch is So Beautiful challenge piece. So this is Twilight Stroll by Kim Leo, and I know I mention it every time, but basically Stitch is So Beautiful host a stitch along challenge on Facebook every month, and if you you know, interest your participate and everything, send an email at the beginning of the month, and then you have to do at least 250 stitches or 510 stitches on one of their charts, and each week on their post you list your show your progress, and then you'll get a free chart once the month is over. So I'm working on this one, Twilight Stroll. So I will pop up a picture of where it was last week, and then I've not done a ton of stitching on this one this time. I've just been working down, so I think, looking at the shape of that, I think that is where the house is going to start to come in, which is exciting. So obviously I love the, you know, all these colours that are in the trees. So this one is an 18 count Ada, and I'm working this 1/1 full cross, and I really like how neat my stitches are looking. So that is the page, and then obviously I'm just filling in the page now. So at the moment this one has exactly 2,000 stitches out of 126,000, and I'm currently at 1.59%. That's partly why I didn't do as many stitches on this one, because I got to a round number. So I'm trying to now, or I'm going to be for September, I'm going to be trying to get my full coverages back to that like nice round number. So, you know, I've rounded off to some kind of 100 or 1,000 or something like that. I just feel like it's a little bit easier than all these different numbers, so I just like the kind of round figure. So yeah, so that's my progress on that one so far, so I'm really enjoying that one. And then I picked up one that hasn't had a lot of attention since it got started, so this got some more stitches on it. So this one is Farm Selfie, and it's from an Etsy shop called, I think it's NeniSweetPatterns or NeniSweetDesigns, but I will link the information in the down below. So this one I'm stitching on 18 count 1/1 full cross again, So I started this one along with Dawn over at the Busy Mom Stitcher. So I think I had 300 stitches on my first go, so, and I'll pop up a picture. I'm pretty sure I had 300, so I just, you know, finally got this one back out. Just fold that over so it's easier. So yeah, so that now is the width of the first page. So I kind of got it along there, and then I've tried to work some of these parked threads back in. So this is now at 600 stitches. So as I said, I'm trying to get these nice round numbers. So yeah, so it's 600 stitches out of 125,256, and this is at 0.48%. So something I have been noticing as I'm, you know, switching through all these different projects this week, is I don't mind my parked threads, because I do think sometimes with full coverage it makes it easier. I have noticed that the one strand projects, like the full cross 1/1, or even the 28 count, you know, 1/110, I do find that the one strand does tend to tangle more. Whereas if it's like, you know, 4 strand 10 or 2 strand 10 or whatever, it does tend to like hang better, and it just doesn't really have an issue. But yeah, because the one strand I think it's so thin, I do find that they can tangle a little bit. So it's something I've now obviously become aware of, so I'm trying to be careful now how many parked threads I keep. So I think I'm going to try and work them in a little bit more as I go with a lot of them, so hopefully that will help. Right, so like I said, that's all of my stitching in the past week. So obviously, as we're almost in September, there probably won't be a lot more. I'll probably just end up picking up my stamped one for this weekend, because obviously I'm filming this on Saturday and I work on a Sunday, so yeah, so I'm probably not gonna do much stitching tomorrow because I'm on a different shift and it's a later one, so yeah, I probably won't do a lot of stitching tomorrow. So yeah, so I thought that I would mention a sal that I'm hosting. I have mentioned it already in a previous one, but in case that you didn't see that, so this is, I'm calling this Fantasy Fall Stitch Along, Start Along, whichever. It's basically because I have a lot of projects that haven't had a lot of attention recently, and with them being kind of a more fantasy based one, I thought that would be kind of fun for people in case they wanted to join in. So it's just basically working on anything that has a fantasy theme. So obviously it could just be continuing your regular projects like what I'm going to do, and you know, use the hashtag and stuff, or you could use that to you know, start a new project. So it's hashtag is Fantasy Fall Sal 2025. If you are on things like Instagram, I'd love it if you would also tag me. So I'm Steph.Xstitch over there as well, just because it'd be really fun to be able to see what people are getting up to, and I will obviously try to check the hashtag. And it's basically all of fall, so it's starting in September and working all September, October and November. And yeah, so that's just something that I wanted to do for myself, so I just thought that it would be fun for people to consider joining in. I do have a few ideas actually for kind of stitch along, start alongs for next year, based on a lot of the projects that I want to start, so I will probably talk about that towards the end of the year. So yeah, so I have that, and I do have some haul. It worked out really I want to say strange, but probably really like well, because I basically made my last video, which is the Flosstube extra, and I shared for over an hour. So if you've not seen that and if you like full coverage, I basically shared all of the patterns either that I've collected and I want to start in this year, or you know, probably mostly next year, or it's I also shared ones that I haven't purchased but they're on my, you know, high up on my wish list of ones I want to do. And I know that I've already enabled a couple of people to check some charts out, so okay, sorry not sorry. So yeah, so as I was just literally mentioning it in that video, that I'd recently come across companies such as Thread Geeks, and I had some of their charts that I really wanted to stitch, and then just after I posted the video, Thread Geeks did a post and they said that they had a sale going on, so I thought I'd mention it because there is a few days left on it. So this is Thread Geek, so threadgeeks.co.uk, and their sale is a PDF sale. So it's a buy two get two free. So the code is 442. So number 4, FOR2 in one, you know, one word. And then obviously you get 4 charts for the price of 2. And that ends on the 2nd of September. So I got some of the ones that one of the ones I didn't list because I didn't realise that they had it on there, and I'll just pop up a picture as I mention them. So I got Gothic Lovebirds by Simona Candini, Little Scardy by Ingrid Tussell, Wednesday. I did have like 2 Wednesday inspired charts I was looking at, and I decided eventually to go for this one just because I do like all of that background with the blue and like the lightning. This one I will try to pronounce it, but I will pop the name up because it's not a surname that I'm familiar with. So the artist is called Inna, it's like Vijas Hanina. I know I'm not doing that well justice, so as with that I will probably have to put the artist name up every time. So that was obviously 3, and then I was just having another look through the site just to see if I've missed any, and I found that they also had charted a pumpkin gift by Jasmine Beckett Griffith. Now I did have that listed from Unconventional Cross Stitch, and I didn't realise that obviously Thread Geeks also charted it, so I thought, well, instead of getting 2 Wednesday ones, because as I mentioned in my extra video, I was kind of either or for that, so I thought that I'd get the pumpkin gift, being as I had that on a different list as well. So they were my 4. So I also then went through all of my fabric, and when I say fabric it's basically just Ada because that's what I stitch on. So I had a lot that I got in a find on from a charity shop a little while ago, so I went through all of those, and I had some you know, pieces that I'd bought and kept and all that kind of thing. So because the Artisy minis are very small compared to like a Haid mini, I've actually managed to kit up most of the Artisy minis. So I have like a little box now of my Ada, and I put like a sticky note on each one. So with the ones I've just mentioned, the Thread Geeks chart, so I think it's 2 of them I have Ada ready for, and then the other 2 I will have to get. So that's kind of on my list to get. And then one company I did forget to mention in the you know, parade video was Sunflower Stitches. I forgot all about them, so they do obviously full coverage as well. I don't have a very big wish list on there just because a lot of them are kind of just one artist, so I won't obviously try to share any from that. But I just spotted yesterday that they had a sale which is almost at an end, so it must have been on for a little while, and I managed to get one off there. So this one is Quirky Christmas Black Bear, and it's by Ale Real Designs. I'm not sure, I don't think I'm saying that right. So that one, I just thought it's a lot of dark stitching on that, which is a little different, because I, you know, have commented previously that I starting to prefer coloured ones, but I don't know. I think it's because I've been looking at a few different companies recently, and a lot of the charts are a little bit more horror and gothic, so it's kind of making me think a little bit more about darker stitching. So yeah, so anyway, so that's that's another one now that I need to start at some point. So yeah, so that was my haul. I don't have really any mentions today just because I've been working through some of the floss tubes that I've got behind on, so it's just basically people that I think I've already mentioned that I've watched. So yeah, so that was, as I said, that was my weekly WIP update. I'm not too sure for September if I'm going to do a weekly update, because it was just something I fancied trying for August, because I'd set a spinner wheel and I had a range of projects which obviously didn't really work out for me. I kind of didn't really enjoy limiting myself to certain ones. So September I'm back to just a regular spinner wheel, and then work on whatever that is. Obviously I'm hoping that more of the other charts will get pulled first, because it would be nice to stitch on them again, and if they don't get pulled I'll probably still stitch on them. I'm about halfway through going through all of my thread collection and organising, so I made a master set on floss cards of my whole CXC master set. I basically put into on floss cards and they're in like a bag, so all of my projects use the same one. And I have lots of extras and spares. So what I'm basically I'm about halfway. I've done up to the 600, so yeah, still quite a few to go through. So I'm basically, the spares are all being bobbinated, and all put in one place. So that way I will probably have almost another full set, and then obviously if I'm not missing too many, what I'll probably do is get the missing ones ordered towards the end of the year or the very beginning of next year, but I'll probably try and do it before the end of the year, and then obviously like that could probably be part of my Christmas and New Year will be bobbinating. So yeah, so I'll basically have like one master set plus extras all bobbinated, and then I'll have my master set that I use in my projects in the bag. So I'm getting very organised. So yeah, so I'm slowly working through that just a little bit now and again. So that's a little thing that I want to get done. And then at the moment I am thinking of doing, I think it's called 31 Days of Halloween. Because I know that there's a Flossmas during like December, and I did watch a few people's Flossmases last year, so I do have some plans for that as well. Mine, as I work in retail, I think my Flossmas might just be like a 12 days of Christmas and just do the first 12 days of December, just because I will tend to get quite busy in my job in those last few weeks before Christmas, So yeah, so that is an idea, but I'm also thinking of doing a 31 days of Halloween, which I've seen is, it can be a thing for some people. So my idea is for that would be, because there's one day in October that I would not be stitching, without going into too much detail at the moment, but there's one day that I definitely will not be stitching. So mine would obviously be 30 days. So I thought to myself, if I did say 15 projects, and then had them on a spinner wheel and then repeated that, you know, wheel once the 50, so basically I'd have 15 projects and they'd be worked twice during the month. I have a few that are already WIPs that are Halloween, or kind of, you know, fantasy magical, which would fit quite well with a Halloween. Obviously, as I've mentioned, I have like 3 charts that I've just purchased, which could be classed as Halloween. So the Adam's Family, the Gothic Lovebirds, the Wednesday, and the Pumpkin Gift. Obviously, I'm thinking of maybe starting those during that month, just because, like I said, I do need to get fabric for 2 of those, so it would make more sense. So yeah, so I'm not sure how I'd work that out, because I, you know, same again, it's I've got to work out when I can film and things like that. But yeah, if that's something that you could be interested in, then please let me know in the comments. That's something I am thinking about doing. It would be kind of like a daily, or every few days perhaps, like a quick show and tell, and you know, kind of tell you which one got spun, and then show you the progress on that, and then that kind of thing. So yeah, so that's something I'm thinking about for October, for, you know, for Halloween. And then yeah, so that's that's like all of my plans and everything. So I will leave this one here, because it's turned into quite a long video considering I didn't have that many WIPs, because again I've started to waffle. And then yeah, then, you know, feel free to like, comment and subscribe, and I love reading all the comments and everything like that. So please, you know, keep them coming. And then I will see everyone in my next update, which will be either a week or 2 weeks. I will see how much stitching I get done. So yeah, I think that's everything today. So thank you for watching and spending this time with me, and I hope you're enjoying some lovely stitching. And take care everyone, and I'll see you again soon. Right, bye!